All right. Greetings, Geek Warriors. It's time for another Geek Wars podcast. That's right. We're back to maybe talk about all the geeky things and news from the week, because our main focus is actually about Doctor Strange, which just came out, so we're going to do a spoiler-filled review of that first, and then we'll get to the news, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But first, who are we? What are our names? Let's find out. You person in poking. Who are you?
I'm Ben Waddell.
Your name specifically.
How about you over there in the corner, sir?
Not in a corner any more than you are.
I don't know that.
Kenneth Tolliver Chapman.
Okay. And
All right.
how about you, long-haired fellow?
Oh, yeah, I'm Trevor. Hi. Trevor
There you
Douglas
go.
Allen.
And he has long hair. Look at that. We're
Trevor
giving-
High?
Trevor
Give it
hi.
little peeks into our personage.
Percentage. If you saw on YouTube, you know
Two of us are in a corner and the other one has long hair.
What?
And he's also in a corner. What? Yeah. No.
Oh,
It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, so Doctor Strange came out, really came into the theaters last Thursday night.
Yeah.
We
that's
all
when
saw
we
it.
saw it.
That's when we all saw it.
Me and
Ken,
Trevor
you
saw it
as
Thursday
well,
night.
Oh,
right?
I saw it later.
I saw it later, also with Ken.
Oh, really?
Not really.
I
You
have.
just happened to be in
We
the
saw that you guys came in and sat at the front of the theater.
By happenstance, I saw it with both of you.
And then we, ducked
see
down.
it.
No,
Yeah.
just kidding. I did. Josh, he got up at the end and jetted to go catch you guys.
Oh, okay.
I noticed, yeah, and then we had to wait for your limpingness.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's why I didn't try to catch you.
Why don't you run, Ken, when you're
Yeah, you
limping?
should.
Why don't I run?
Doesn't the excitement just
I've
make you
seen
throw it
cartoons.
away?
If
just
you
toss
move
it
your
away.
cane fast enough,
I have
I
to-
believe you can run.
I have to gear myself up to talk to people in public, and I had not for that. I was planning on watching a movie, going home.
Yeah.
But Josh is always on, so
Well, and it was
he
me
saw you guys.
and Jen and my dad. So
Yeah, we didn't see your dad at all until we got out there, and suddenly your father was there.
Like a Yeti, just standing over
He is like a
he's
Yeti.
very much like a Yeti. This is, yeah.
You're both very Yetish.
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 He's 6'7". So
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Tall dude.
he can't get lost in the mountains, otherwise they report him. So yeah.
And yet we didn't see him. We saw you guys,
Interesting.
the three of you there.
Huh. Well, and I ran out after the movie immediately because I had to pee, and I had already
saw
seen
that.
the post-credit scene,
The
So-
mid-credit scene?
the mid-credit scene.
Yeah.
And then I came
Because you
back,
came back in time for the post-credit
after the pee, and I saw the actual post-credit scene. So,
scene.
which the mid-credit scene was far
We're in
more.
spoilers, I think, now.
The
right?
mid-credits is
Oh,
far
yeah.
cooler
Oh, no,
than
wait.
the post.
No, we'll give,
So,
first we'll give a non-spoiler review quick
Okay.
of what
Oh,
we
yeah,
thought.
yeah, okay.
So, overall, I guess I'll start. I thought it was fine.
I knew it.
There was nothing. I liked the visuals were really good, but at the same time, I don't know if there were anything incredible. There's some that were pretty spectacular, pretty awesome, but I don't know. Overall, the movie was just there was nothing spectacular. I had a few that was funny moments, but they weren't laugh out loud. They were just like
no, very little
that's
funny
funny.
moments. Yeah.
And then there were several points that fell flat for me.
It was far less quippy, by half than any other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. But overall, yeah, it was fine. Anyone else wants to go next?
So here's the thing. So I saw it with you, and
Yeah.
I walked out having pretty much the same concept of
You
it was
liked
a
more,
solid
I think,
movie.
but
It was
yeah.
it was fine. I thought it was. I'd probably say on the good side of fine. But the main takeaway for me was the visuals, which I thought were amazing. I mean, it was
Yeah.
way more inventive than anything Marvel or really anybody had ever done in terms of visuals. So that part was badass. On second viewing, I liked it way more.
Really?
Yeah, I enjoyed a lot more of it. It might have just been that I was more awake
Yeah.
at the time, but either way, I on second viewing I liked it a lot more. And I'm
that's
wondering if this is one of those movies where you can watch it more than once and like it more than once, and whereas I have other movies that I love, but I'll never watch again because I don't want to see that
You
again.
can like it a whole twice.
Hold
Yeah.
twice.
So, well, no, but I've seen it twice. I plan to see it again when it comes out.
Damn.
I mean, it's very, very watchable. It's very. It doesn't.
It's ultimately watchable.
Well, I mean,
This movie watchable.
It's but this is the thing though, is that there's a lot of good movies that I don't enjoy watching. They don't fill me with joy. I don't want okay, so almost
fill me
every
with
single
joy.
Tom Hanks movie I feel really good about as I walk out of the theater. I'm like, I feel good about life. And when I say Tom Hanks, I mean the stuff he produces as well as stars in.
Okay.
I don't just mean the movies because Castaway I don't ever want to see again. Captain Phillips I don't want to see again. But Larry Crown I've watched 5 times. That Thing You Do I've seen at least a dozen times.
I've seen that once.
And those movies are just, they make me feel good about life and shit in general. I should go watch them now while I'm reeling from this Trump shit. But yeah, so it's that is one of the things that I noticed about this movie is it feels you get caught up in it, and it feels really good when you watch it. So, yay.
Ken.
I liked it. I kind of really liked it. I had gotten more excited about it than I had hoped to, because I generally don't like to go in movies expecting them to be good.
Yeah.
But I had seen enough of it, and
There was a lot of positivity coming
right.
out about, oh my god.
Right. I love the character. I love the actors. There was all the actors. All of them were exquisite actors, and so that kind of too much of that had built up, and I was like, now I'm probably going to go into this movie, and it is not going to live up to what I had hoped. I did like it a lot, though. I thought it was rushed. I thought it should have taken its time more.
Yeah.
Especially with the time frame they gave us, that the whole thing, quote unquote, takes place in a year.
And see, I didn't read that until afterwards.
I got that from the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she says, after so and so months, and I was like, okay, so he was in for 2 months, for the so and so months. Okay, this is less than a year later. And so for me, I was like, this should not have happened yet.
But a lot of people are still trying to place together the time because they see
Yeah,
the
but you
Avengers
don't
Tower
have to.
at one point, and
because we know it's set in 2006 because the Avengers Tower is there.
Yeah.
We know. Okay, this might be getting into spoiler territory, so I'm just going to stop with that. I'm just going to say it seemed too rushed for me. I was kind of, I shouldn't have seen it in 3D when I did. A lot of the stuff was great in 3D, but I'm just not ready for the 3D that exists yet.
This could have been my problem with with the stuff, because I don't know if I was ready for 3D, at least for this one. Because normally, the last few movies I saw in 3D, I was like, oh, this is good. This one actually might have lowered it for me. Because it was just so much going on, and 3D wasn't built ready to see all that movement of things moving around and buildings changing and stuff. It was kind of like my eyes.
You guys are crazy. I saw
a few
3D twice,
scenes
and I love that
that
shit.
I had to shake my head after. One of them was just a simple one. They're walking behind a concrete fence or something, but the camera's going one way, they're going the other, and the fence is going, another, and the whole thing just becomes a blur. And I was like, I see what you guys are trying to do, but don't do this scene in 3D because it hurts.
Yeah.
And when I mentioned, I said there was one scene that really made me, kind of have to shake, and Josh was like, "Oh, the fence," and I was like, "Yeah." So it's not just me. There are,
As soon as the movie started for me, it was like right away. I was like,
I had to adjust. I had to put because I have to do the double glasses thing.
I did. I do the double glasses thing too, and I also had to adjust the glasses probably 3 or 4 times throughout the movie.
But also, I got them adjusted, and I don't want this to be another rant on 3D, but what I do want to point out is at a point where I should have been like, oh, New York City, awesome. I was like, oh, a scale model of New York City, okay, because nothing looks right, and nothing looks like when they're all falling off the building in that scene that we've seen in the trailers.
Yeah,
they're falling off the side of the building. They look so small compared to what normally they would without 3D, and maybe it's just putting it into perspective. That's what 3D does.
I actually had a whole other issue with that part, but yeah.
We should go into. Going into spoilers now.
So I think we should.
For me,
we've said our stuff.
Right. Yeah. What brought it down was watching it in 3D, and I shouldn't have.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's go into spoilers now. What we thought of the movie. Does anyone have anything particular they want to start? Because I just thought it was fun, so I don't have a major this thing.
Well, I mean, Ken just mentioned the scene. So in the scene when they're fighting Caecilius and his people in New York. And this is when we get the cool Inception-like thing where they're bending the city and the city becomes like on little tracks.
Only it's a lot more than we've seen in the trailers.
It's a lot more than it's in the trailers and in Inception, So in that, they're falling. They fall several times.
Yeah.
In fact, that's how the whole thing happens is they're trying to get out of there. And then Caecilius changes gravity, basically. And they start falling sideways.
Yeah.
He's wearing the cloak of levitation. And he's wearing the leaping boots of Valtor or whatever.
Valtor.
The vaulting boots of Valtor.
Yeah.
So they both have methods of defying gravity.
manipulating themselves in the air, which
and
they have both shown already at this
already
point.
both have shown this, and yet they
Yeah.
fall
They just
all
slide
over this fucking place.
like
But
stoops.
also, Caecilius also has a way to kill them pretty easily. He just decides to toy with them for some reason. Like, he doesn't need to do all that flipping stuff.
He could just drop a building on
anvil.
them.
Oh, okay.
He
You
could
notice
do
how he
any
kills
number of
like
things.
everyone else in this movie, like all the other magic people,
Yeah.
no problem. But then you go to these two, and it's like I can't.
Well, but
I can't
for the
touch.
most part, he's killing him with the little air spears.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
still. It's
By the way,
like,
So
did
why
everybody,
didn't he-
did everybody
that-
catch the name
yeah.
of the guy that he killed in New York, the first guy?
I
I
heard
missed this the first time.
It's
Yeah, it's
Voodoo's
the
brother.
Voodoo's.
It's Voodoo's brother. It's Daniel
yeah.
Drummond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
see,
it on.
I didn't catch Drummond the first time I watched it, and the second time they were like, "What happened to Drummond?" And I was like, "He called him Daniel. Daniel Drummond. Oh shit, that's yeah." No, I freaked out the second time when I figured it out.
But
So-
that point, Trevor, is one of the biggest problems I had with this movie was that every time Caecilius comes and confronts somebody who is designated to protect a place, first the librarian, then the sorcerer protector of New York,
Yeah.
he just kills them when they don't do anything.
Yeah,
They literally take a stance and don't do anything. Yet every time somebody throws something at Doctor Strange, he puts up a shield.
yeah. The other guys are pretty.
Why don't they
useless.
do anything?
It really seems like these protectors are pretty shit.
They're
Yeah.
pretty shit. Yeah.
They have-
and I think that's what's going on here is that it's while they might have, and I can tell you this from, okay, I'll liken this to taking classes in martial arts. When you take classes in martial arts, you might learn the technique and you might be really good at it, but then when it comes time to spar or fight, you can't fight. And we've seen stuff like this.
But
In,
these
well,
are
Batman Begins. Batman Begins, another perfect
Why are
example
you
where
putting these shitheads on them?
Right. Why are
Fighting
you
video.
assigning these people?
These are like
because
the
they have
Why
good
not
technique.
say, oh, Wong's better than that librarian that we just killed? Put him there first.
They also took out Wong pretty quick too. I think we didn't see.
We
it.
dend see how they
didn't see
took
it,
out
yeah.
Wong.
But he had the
which
wand
was
of
unfortunate.
Watum,
Yeah.
which is supposed to be a badass relic. And although then I found out later what it did, I was like, oh, that's not that badass at all.
The,
Well,
the
everything
staff
is-
that, what's his name, Mordo had was supposed to be like an insanely badass thing as well.
and he just turns it into a whip. I remember when he
Yeah.
said that. It's like, oh, this is the staff of the Living
Well-
Tribunal. Holy shit, that's one of the most powerful beings in the entire Marvel
the
universe.
Living Tribunal is one
Yeah,
of the
so
most powerful beings in the
I
entire
turned it into
Marvel
a whip.
universe, yes.
And it's like, what the fuck?
It's sort of. It's a thing I was hearing. I heard complain about it. It made sense to me. Everything is just sort of an electric bolt or energy bolt
Yeah.
type of thing
This is the,
in a different form, and it's kind of like that's all your magic is.
This is how is exactly how spells in Harry Potter turned into wand bullets.
Yeah.
By the third movie.
And they just in this they're like,
Yeah.
let's not even bother like doing weird like
I mean,
turning shit into
to be
other
fair,
things.
though,
And
like
And the only
go
one-
read a Doctor Strange comic book. He doesn't do a lot of...
that's weird because the
Like,
person I
other
heard from
than
was
the-
saying they're a huge Doctor Strange
No,
fan.
Okay,
And they've read
other
a
than the
bunch.
Crimson
Yeah,
Bands
so I
of
don't know.
Cyttorak,
Sidorak.
right. I've never seen him do a lot of... It's a lot of hand moving, it's a lot of... And then shit happens, but there's no, like, show how that happened. Like, that doesn't...
No,
I
it's
was
not the
wondering
show, it's
how they
just
were going to
like-
show it in the movie. I was really worried about how they were going to show that. And I think they did an okay job with the little
I think-
fiery lightning whip things.
Strange did a lot more than most other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think they're chalking that up to okay. So it's the same reason that this whole movie took place in a year, which it shouldn't have.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, I get that they wanted to have what's her name, Amy Adams. Is that who that?
Rebecca.
That's not who that
No,
is.
no, it's Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams. Sorry, It's Amy
There's an Adams in there, too, yeah.
Any Adams, they're all in the Adams family.
This is the Scottish Adams, though.
Okay, so the Scottish Adams, I know they didn't want her to have to age or whatever while he was out there, or they wanted that
They could
relationship
have had
to
it be 3 years, and it would have been far
any
more
amount
believable.
more
Yeah.
years. It's supposed to be like 10 or something in
3
the
would
comics.
be my minimum for
But
me.
yeah, give it good 3, 4, 5 years even, and she would still be, you know, maybe
what
she's
the fuck's
moved up,
happening?
whatever. You know,
But,
although
like, I know you guys, and you guys have looked the same for the last 3 years. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't see...
yeah, there's no reason to,
Other
you
than
know,
haircuts, but yeah. Other than that, I
or
mean,
lack thereof
yeah,
for both of us now.
yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I did not like, and of course they chalk that up to, oh, he has an eidetic memory.
Yeah.
Which, so you're already making him a superhero to begin with, sort of, because that's a thing that doesn't exist in real life. No, don't look at me like that. It honestly doesn't.
Really?
People have very good memories. There is nobody on record who has a fully eidetic memory like that. It's essentially a bullshit thing that we've all been taught to believe is real.
Yeah.
Shit.
Because they have it for Batgirl, has it in the comics.
Right.
But
Half of
even
the people
she messes up sometimes.
See, and I like
so.
I like the fact that we've now made like a scientific name for it because it used to just be called a photographic memory. But then we were like, no, the official term is eidetic memory, and no, neither of those things is real. So quit fucking
Sorry,
saying it.
yeah, he did call it a
So-
photographic memory. So it's, I mean, yeah, he said that. In the
I
movie.
like that though that we've now come up with a scientific term for a thing that wasn't real to begin with.
We have a lot of scientific
So-
terms for things that don't exist.
Yeah.
I mean,
crazy.
it's a potential.
We're correcting people on their bullshit thing that they're talking about. It's like, I'm sorry, are you talking about that fake bullshit thing? That's not actually what it's
It's called an eidetic memory, and it
I
doesn't
mean,
exist.
it makes sense coming up with a word for something. Is like, if someone did have this perfect memory, what would
What's
you
wrong
call
with-
it?
What was wrong with
Eidetic
photographic?
memory.
Because
Photographic
it
is
doesn't
perfect.
take.
not scientific.
You tell me something, I can't take a photograph of that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Can I take a photograph of the words you just said?
maybe I don't know how your brain works. I don't know your life. No,
There's
So-
like
no.
word
Yeah.
bubbles.
I'm not one of the one of those people who see color or smell
Oh,
colors and
Yeah.
oh shit, yeah.
see
And poop
sounds and
rainbows.
stuff.
Yeah.
I forget what they're called, but there's a scientific name for that too. And
There's
that
one of
does
those in
exist.
librarians. So yeah.
Yeah, but that
Shit
does
else.
exist.
Oh, that exists.
Okay, but so my problem with this
Thanks,
was
Trump.
I think one of what they're trying to say is that he is like the quote unquote chosen one,
Yeah.
and that's why his spells are
He's
better
Neo.
spells
Yeah.
or whatever. And I don't like that. I guess there was a version of this movie where he was made, or made into the Sorcerer Supreme by the end
I'm
of the
glad
movie.
they didn't though. That's really cool.
They didn't, but I kind of felt like he was anyway, because he's like, now I'm the protector of the only remaining.
Yeah. He also was like quick to.
Isn't the Hong Kong one still alive?
No,
Really? I thought that's why he rewound
Yeah,
everything.
Hong Kong's fine because he rewound time. And,
Yeah.
I thought it was still
He
broken
was
at the
kind.
end.
He
but-
did rewind. Hong Kong is fine.
Okay, so fine.
think
And I
it's
guknow
fine.
technically he was.
Although I
in
don't
it
know
for
why he
longer
didn't go
than a
back to
year
London and
because-
rewind that now. Shit.
Yeah,
Because he seems to be able to rewind just a specific thing without rewinding all the other shit. Have you guys all seen that? Like the apple. He could rewind
Yeah.
just the apple. And
Well,
I'm like,
he
oh
could
shit. you could-
Control. Yeah, he was
The
able.
crazy
to
thing about that is,
control-
if
like
you eat the
the-
apple and you rewind the apple, does the apple chunks that you ate,
It's the.
are they still in your
I
stomach?
don't
disappear
think
and get
it's
put
got to be
into
like
the-
some sort of weird sphere of influence. It only affects one area, so I don't understand. Yeah, you'd still have the apples in you, but it would also be an.
Okay,
So that's just like
Here's
infinity
what
apple.
I didn't.
Well, that's the
stand.
problem with it. That's why it would
Understand.
break.
Yeah.
Is because now he's inside there. He just broke time by eating an apple and also having.
That's why you're not supposed to fuck with it.
And fuck it, he just broke time.
But what I don't understand is I understand why he wasn't affected by the time reversal, and I understand why Mordo wasn't because he shook Mordo out. He literally turned to Mordo.
And shook him out. Yeah.
Why were Caecilius and his
They
pals
shook
not?
themselves out.
But how and why? How were they even?
I don't
By
know.
turning
How does
around
waving your
and-
fingers in a circle make a portal?
Because
I don't
you
know.
have a sling ring, Ben. Don't be
Yeah.
stupid.
This thing-
How does doing this like this make the eye of Agamotto open? I don't know. It's magic, Ken.
And how
If
did
it was
you
like this? I can't do it because I have arthritis, but it was like that.
and why did you put in a white woman as ancient one because you were afraid of being a stereotype, and you put the character in the movie anyway? You're worried about having the stereotype. The character's still there, dumbass.
Yeah,
Well,
but
and
they
then
moved
also
it
not
to Tibet.
mentioning that we're in
It's-
Tibet, but we are in Nepal.
Well,
And it's or in Kathmandu and stuff
yeah,
like that. And I was like,
they
whoa,
were in
hey.
Nepal, not Tibet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah.
So-
it was just it's like you still did it. Like you still put the ancient one
Yeah.
in there as a stereotype, but it's not the main character now. Now it's a side
Especially
character
since
bullshit.
they
And it's
were-
a joke. Now
Yeah.
it's a joke that this character is
sorry, the
a
handless man was
stereotype.
a joke.
Well, he was a stereotype.
Sensitive bastard.
Like the point when he
Oh,
walks
because all
in,
Japanese guys don't have hands.
I don't know if he was
Yeah, you're
Japanese.
supposed to be Japanese.
But-
All Asian guys don't have hands.
This is getting so bad
But the
and
joke
so
was-
far off the.
The joke
Trump's
was like
America,
when he
folks.
walks in, he thinks it's
Yeah.
the Asian guy, and it's like, well, yeah, you're pointing it out, but that doesn't make it better that you're now pointing out that
That
hey,
they're showing their own character having
yeah,
a
an
It's
Asian
like
being
the-
our
it's like-
Asian stereotype, and then, but yeah, you're doing it anyway. You're,
I like that he did it twice, and then he did it the first time. Like, shouldn't we go in there? Isn't that more kamertage? And then it's like, I understand you're being ignorant, and you should probably stop that because we're about to go in here and shit's about to go down. He goes, right. I understand. I'll respect you. And he goes right in there and does it immediately again.
He doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sort of his whole thing is he doesn't believe or trust in any of it until he sees it, and then of course then he later starts not believing or trusting it again, which leads to the whole Mordo problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah, once they learn that she is using the same forbidden magic that they used, that he got in trouble for using it and Caecilius stole, she's using that to stay alive to be the protector.
But isn't the fact that it's forbidden, didn't that come from her in the first place?
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
So, yeah.
So,
See, to me, this doesn't seem that different than, like, growing up in your parents' house and then being like, do as I say, not as I do type of thing, yeah.
except they're not children. And there's usually reasons to tell children, don't use
aren't
the
they?
stove.
Aren't they?
And
They are children in the mystic arts.
They also did point out Mordo was very staunch in his beliefs, and she was very focused on don't do this, don't do
Yeah.
this, it's bad. And then so
Yeah.
it's like, what
Right.
the fuck?
Well, and I'm guessing that in the next movie, I'm assuming there's a good little backstory bit where we learn why Mordo, because the way that they did it, it really made it sound like there's something in his backstory that says, okay, when it comes to rules, I'm going to be a bit of a Nazi about this. And like you could see that like rules were a big problem for him. So
Yeah. I mean, Nazi is in, he was a goose stepper until he wasn't,
yeah.
but
Well, and that's his thing is like if in a world where the rules are the only thing that matters and the good guy keeps breaking the rules, fuck the rules. And that's where we find him at the end of the
right,
movie.
but at the same time, he came here to get an edge over his enemies, so he's essentially came to break the rules of combat so that he could get power
But he mentions
over
though
his...
that she changed him and that she taught him the better of...
Sure. I mean, but yeah, it would be nice to get some understanding of why he changed so drastically. And I thought for a minute that he had killed the guy in the end, the basketball guy. But Josh reminded me that he didn't.
He didn't, but that's a big... that was a really... So Benjamin Bratt is the guy who plays that guy.
Yeah.
Singing Pongmar or Pongdar or something like that.
Pangborn.
Benjamin Bratt is kind of a big name actor, and that's kind of a
he was
really...
in Catwoman.
Well, Catwoman, but then just recently he was
used to be bigger than he is now.
He was like the bad guy in The Infiltrator just recently in the last 6 months.
I didn't see that. Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, so
I
it's,
did see that. I saw that with you.
and it's and he was actually really good in that. He was probably one of the best parts of that movie.
He's a good actor.
He's a good actor. He's starred in multiple television shows.
Mm-hmm.
That one he did with Sandra Bullock where she was a beauty pageant contestant.
I'm surprised he was just used for this though.
I'm surprised that he was used for something so little, and I kept waiting to see more of him because you don't bring in Benjamin Bratt for a 5-line part in a movie. In my mind, I think he's going to come back. I think he's too important to leave. But this is that thing when you're watching a movie and or even a TV show, and this is the one where the casting choice gives away a ton of shit.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh, we're going to go talk to blah, blah, blah about the case. I think you have some information. And you get there and it's like Leonardo DiCaprio and you're like, oh, holy shit, this guy matters a lot. He is not just the witness. Holy crap. He's probably, he did it. He did it.
He did it.
Yeah. It's,
It's the big name actor. They did it.
Oh, it's Michael Chiklis.
Often, yeah.
It's like, Michael Chiklis is just as big as Leonardo DiCaprio.
He might come back because that's how maybe Doctor Strange
love how
finds
that
out
is the
about
thing,
Mordo and all this stuff. He visits him or something and finds him broken. It's like, what happened to you, dude? Dude, this guy in this green, robe.
No, he knows his name.
Came and said there's 2 minutes. Yeah, he would know Mordo.
He said Mordo to his face when he saw him. He goes, oh, hi, Mordo.
What's up, Mordo? What's up, Carl?
Carl Mordo.
Oh, hi, Mordo.
Oh, hi, Mordo.
Hello, Mordo.
That's the thing I've never seen.
That sounds like Hello, Mordo.
I'm not talking about that anymore.
Yeah.
Hello, Mordo.
But yeah, so Dormammu.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I did like that end.
So Dormammu was in here. Yeah.
I like the end of
Played by Benedict Cumberbatch, which I thought was kind of...
Well,
He didn't do the voice though.
Visually,
No,
no.
I thought he
Some
did the voice.
unnamed British actor is what is, yeah.
Yeah, is what it's
Do we not-
saying.
They're saying it's not. I mean, they could be
Okay.
lying to us,
Like
but
the fact that they revealed that he's playing the visuals, but they're like, no, we're gonna keep the voice a secret though. It seems like why would you do that?
Maybe it's Daniel Craig, and this is just like the thing he's doing this year is doing secret bits in movies.
unnamed.
Like it's like, I was a secret stormtrooper, and then I was a secret bad guy of a Marvel movie.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah. But that's like his thing is he wants to go be secretly in a bunch of movies. So
Because he's not in enough
But it does raise the question: why is it a secret?
explicitly. I just was unnamed. They
it's
didn't
a
really
big
say
casting
we're
announcement
keeping
they
it
get to
secret.
announce
They
for the
It's not in the
just
credits.
they
it's
just
not-
said unnamed.
I don't know, I feel like you
by
should-
an unnamed British actor. I don't know. But either way, okay, so I liked it too. I was kind of scared because, we saw in the latest trailer the eyes, and we were like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, so Dormammu is going to be in it, but to what extent? And we had already here even we already said that Caecilius is being controlled by something.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's either Shumagorath or probably Dormammu or whatever. But we still didn't know to what extent we would see him. I liked the way they did it because that's such a comic book in general, but Doctor Strange specifically way to deal with a thing that you clearly cannot beat.
Yeah.
That whole time thing. And they showed us that he had already gained some control over the... So it wasn't as Deus Ex Machina as it could have seemed if we had just seen him reading it, and then later he was like, oh, I remember reading that I can do this, and, set up this little time loop thing.
Yeah.
But I think they did a good job of setting up that he understood how to use it and how time is not exactly the same in there.
Yeah.
I think they did a really good job of showing that, this is possible, so let's go do this.
Yeah.
Also, I have to give them kudos for not bringing in the number one biggest, baddest Doctor Strange villain and then killing him immediately. Because that was exactly what I was afraid. I was like, fuck, it's Dormammu. God damn it, they've done it.
Well, we got to kill him. We got
Yeah.
to see two of the biggest Doctor Strange villains, and
Yeah.
neither one died.
Yeah.
And so now we get both of them somewhere down the line, and the fact that Ejiofor's playing Mordo is huge because Ejiofor's amazing.
Yeah.
And so Dormammu gets to live, Mordo gets to live. We've heard from Derrickson that he'd like to do Nightmare at some point.
Yeah.
So it's the thing that I liked especially about the ending too, and I didn't think about this until I read this interview, was how against the grain, against normal Marvel movies it went. Where normally at the end, what did somebody call it? James Mangold called it a CGI fuckathon.
Yeah, the city block destroying CGI fuckathon. Yeah.
Where and they started on a city block and it started destroyed and they put it back together.
Yeah,
specifically
and he did
to be
that
like
on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, like look, it's the anti-Marvel movie.
Like fuck you, we can do other things.
Yeah.
Which is good because they have to show us from time to
But they
time.
also got to do the
they can do other
CGI
things.
fuckathon by going into the dark dimension and just doing all kinds of terrible shit to Doctor Strange.
Also, CGI fuckathon that. The reverse of I thought that scene was very cool. What things were going in reverse.
Yeah.
A car is going the other way, hits somebody or whatever. They're using all of this stuff in reverse to be the weapons or whatever to knock people out or and I thought that was done really well, choreographed really well. Obviously, I'm glad that Wong didn't die because when you see Wong dead, you're like, oh, there's the guy they killed for the. But obviously it was, the ancient one. But I didn't really feel the effects of like, oh no, the ancient one's dead.
And I don't think you were supposed
I'm sad at that person being dead now because they had already done.
It was just to move the story along, and I don't think it was meant to have any emotional
like thousands
weight.
of years, right? It's like, well, she's been alive for long enough, and
Plus, I'm pretty sure they can bring her back in astral form at some point if they wanted to.
If they want, if they want to.
She's not crazy powerful, but couldn't solve problems very easily. Like
That
she could
seems
send
to be a
people through
common problem,
any
yeah.
dimension she wanted at any time, but she didn't. At later on, it was just like,
Yeah.
why don't you just send Caecilius into some dimension? You apparently can just do that.
But then you have to make sure he doesn't have his little sling ring.
I think because he had learned to do the things. He had learned to do the things. Trevor, he knew the things.
He knew so many of the things.
He knew all of the things.
Yeah, I just don't know.
That sling ring did become an overly powerful sort of.
Well, it's the way it's the get out of jail free card for every single situation you're in.
Yeah, in fact, they had to manufacture the point that
like, oh, I lost my
Strange
sling
had
It's also a way
lost
to get
his.
stuck
Yeah.
and.
or I took his sling ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just they had.
It's like kryptonite. Once you lose it, now it's like, oh no, look, I'm in danger. I'm in peril because I don't have my sling ring.
Which I kind of feel like, why can they do all the other things that they can do, but that's the one thing they can't do without it. I know they use a lot of their toys, like the stuff that they did in the end. He couldn't have done without the eye, but that makes sense. Also, speaking of the eye, Kevin Feige kind of lied to us and said something along the lines of, "Oh, it'll be there, but we'll never call it an Infinity Stone." Which that's exactly what happens. He goes,
yeah.
"You don't want to walk around with an Infinity Stone around your neck." Or what? There's so much stuff you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Um.
I think they were running out of time and they needed to.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like, shit, we got this and like Thor, and we got to get that thing in there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And we've already announced there isn't one in Guardians 2.
Yeah.
Damn
Yeah.
it.
One last thing about Dormammu, I did not like that they turned him into a giant purple poop cloud.
This is weird
Like,
looking.
why? Why is he a cloud again?
Yeah.
He was a cloud with a face, a giant purple cloud with a face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the same problem when they did that with Galactus.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have a huge issue with it, but it was kind of like.
I didn't like it.
It's
Give
not.
him a-
I don't love
I
it.
Give him a
think
goddamn
eventually,
body.
I think eventually we'll see the flaming head Dormammu at some point.
He doesn't have to be the flaming head. It could just
Oh,
be that head.
I want the
I just
flaming
want a body. Give me a body.
I want the flaming head.
Like, stop making your biggest, baddest villains into clouds. That's all I'm asking.
Everything in Marvel that is on fire needs to stay on fire. Like, I love that they're like Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider's on fire, and it's fucking great. I love it.
If
So,
somebody lights a candle, it should always be on fire.
serious. Every line is either whispered or screamed, and everything is on fire. It's like, yeah.
There's a few as you were saying with the end. You said, well, not just with the end, but you were talking about how it was too quick. I feel like the end was too quick, where Dormammu gave up really quick on time.
Well, and they,
I
they
know,
showed
but
there
they
was a
didn't,
longer
I
version.
can't take it anymore.
I know, but they should have said...
Like once they got back,
done this
I've been
1,000
gone
times.
for I was gone for like years in there, dude.
Yes.
So like once he gets out, but that time hasn't changed for
He
anyone
should
else.
have said it, because that would have been like okay, that makes more sense. Because I kind of felt that too.
Dormammu
I was like,
gave up quick. He was
I
just
get-
like, oh, it's too much.
I thought
It's been
maybe
7 times already.
I thought maybe Dormammu had reasoned that it's happened 7 times. It's going to keep happening. I obviously cannot win this. But I mean,
Awesome.
that's not really a
That's
Dormammu
my reason for
thing,
giving up.
right? I
Whenever
mean,
I give up.
I've done this a whole 7
I've
times.
tried at least
I'm going
twice.
to give
This
up.
isn't going to happen.
Well, I
So,
mean, he knew that. I had reasoned in my own head that he knew that Doctor Strange had set the time to reset every time he died.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to keep
There's no
doing
reason
it.
to keep doing it. Which is
There was no reason to expect that there would be a different outcome. That's not exactly a characteristic of the character Dormammu that we know, but who knows what, But they should have had something in there about,
well, apparently they did have a line where Strange says, "We've done this thousands of times."
he should have left
This
that.
isn't- yeah.
Yeah,
That
they
should have
really
been the
should've
last
left
one. Instead of the last one they showed us, should just put one more in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have made a little bit more sense. Yeah, it would have helped.
Just,
Yeah.
One of the things I didn't understand sometimes why they did certain things, like certain magic things they decided to do, when it was like they run along a wall for some reason at one. Like there were a couple points where it
Yeah.
made sense, but like sometimes it's like you're running at him down a hall. Running forward is the same as running on the side.
Yeah.
Well, no, but it creates different angles. Because one ran up one side of the wall, ran up the other side
No,
of the
they're
wall.
doing the first one did it
creating-
one time. Right, just one person just ran up the wall at first when he first fought.
I thought you were talking about in the hallway when there's 3 of them coming at him.
No, I know
No.
what you're talking about.
There
but
is
I also
that,
know what
which
he's
was
talking
fine.
about,
I was
right?
fine with that. It was the one time where just one person decided to run like up the wall and go
Okay.
attack him, and it was just like
It was as if he was
But
trying
why?
to get an angle for a kick in the head, but it's like nobody's gonna let you get that close.
like I can
Yeah.
see you. You're right
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
You're not changing anything. You're just
Exactly.
changing the angle I have to block at.
He just Prince of Persia's up a wall, and you're like,
Why are
why?
you doing this?
Why are you?
That was something
There are a
they
lot
should
of
do.
whys.
I liked that.
They're just like, why is this?
I like that
happening?
Doctor Strange's magic didn't always work. I thought that was kind of cool. Like, especially when he's fighting the bad guys and his shit doesn't work. Somebody else mentioned that they really liked that we now have him at the beginning of his career and he's still, like in the little cutscene, it seemed like he was like the real Doctor Strange who like knows his shit backwards and forwards. But when he's with the magical people, he seems to still be a rookie in some respects, and I really like that.
I think they're trying to sort of drive home that he still has problems with his hands, so he still is going to, even though she showed him hands are bullshit, you don't need them. I think what they're trying to
I believe that's the takeaway from the whole movie is that hands are bullshit.
hands are bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that was the
I mean, especially at the end when he came out and read that inspiring message about how we should just cut off our hands because hands
Yeah.
are bullshit.
because you can do
So,
magic without them.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is, it's internal for him because it's an internal
Psychosomatic,
thing for
yeah.
him that was his whole thing. That was what he prided himself on, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like a mental block
Yeah.
that he's not
Yeah.
going to get over for a while.
Yeah.
So,
Also in the cutscene, he wore the little gloves, but not the ones that I wanted.
yeah.
He wore like little gloves that were the orange gloves.
Yeah.
I want like the up the
big
wrist,
arm.
and I want him to have the cool dots.
The almost leopard-like spots.
Almost leopard-like spots, but only like they're bubbling up from his elbow, and then they kind of like taper off and disappear once it gets to his wrist.
They're like allergic to his actual skin.
Yeah, that's a badass glove.
But yeah, I noticed that one of the reasons that, because when I saw Ben, he said something about, we'll talk about it on, in the show, and I mentioned, I'm guessing that Trevor liked it less than you or I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know I even mentioned then, because it hits all the Marvel movie points that you don't like.
It's very cookie cutter in my opinion.
It does,
and that's not terrible. It just means it's a fine movie.
It does the thing that somebody dies, you make a quip.
Yeah.
That thing that you've already mentioned that you kind of don't like because
it's not my favorite. I
Right.
don't hate it.
And it
what
happens
Trevor
over and
wants
over.
is for like a woman character to show up, and then you make a quip. Like that's like I thought she was with you. That's the stuff
I don't like that.
That's the
I did
good
not
quips.
Like that.
Those are the good
I
things.
didn't like that.
I don't remember him saying that.
I'm
he
a
liked
friend
that.
of your son. These are the funny quips. These are good. So,
I don't remember him saying that he
no?
liked
Okay.
that.
Not really.
All right, my bad.
He
don't
did
mind
like
the quips,
he did like
all
the
the
other
time.
things.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about specifically the somebody dies. I mean, you're talking about DC things that happened that weren't particularly funny, but DC doesn't have enough movies to have isms.
True.
Yet.
That's also
Yeah.
There are no DC isms yet because there's not enough movies.
Yeah, like that's the thing is more like I don't have a problem with quip. Like if you do it like here and there, it's fine. Even if someone dies and you do a quip at some points, but this
It's
is like
not-
so constant
Not
for
even
me.
just a quip.
I just don't feel the
It's
emotion.
a funny beat right after a death.
Yeah, I don't feel the emotion that you're apparently supposed to trying to give me. If you're just gonna completely go away from it.
Yeah.
And like act like it's nothing. Like I don't feel the deaths. I've never felt like a death in a Marvel movie really because it's so just okay.
They move on so quickly.
They move on so quick. It doesn't feel
And
like
it's a
they
chicken
give a
shit move that they keep doing because they don't want people to, be too sad for too long about that thing because they have other things they want to show us.
Yeah.
Which I understand that, but sometimes you have to give things the time that they deserve.
I want you to give a shit about your character.
Just have the Addams Family woman come in and console him while he washes his hands.
Yeah. something
You
like that
don't
would be
have
great.
to have her first, and they didn't say anything about it, but you don't have to have her be like, oh, a floating thing.
You said that, and I'm like, I don't think Angelica Houston or Christina Ricci were in this movie because I did not get who
The
you meant
McAdams.
by the Addams Family woman.
Yeah.
The
Okay,
McAdams.
McAdams.
Yeah. She's
McAdams.
The
she's in
McAdams
the greater
family.
Addams
She's
family.
the McDonald's Adams of the McAdams.
She's in the greater Addams family.
Yeah.
Of
The
actors and
McAdams
actresses.
moves next door to
She's
the
like
Addams
a
family.
regular Adams, but she's cheaper and like quicker, and like no one likes it as much, and it's bad for you.
Aw.
So yeah,
But yeah, like she comes in, sees the thing, is like, ugh, and everybody in the theater laughed. I didn't laugh because I didn't particularly like it. I didn't think it was
The broom
particularly
thing?
funny. No.
Oh, okay.
That was, I mean, I didn't laugh at that either, but I got that.
yeah.
That wasn't a very serious moment. This was right after they had lost the Ancient One. She had just died. He's in there sadly washing his hands, doing
She
his
comes
little
in and sees
hand
the
thing.
cloak.
She comes in, "Ooh," like she doesn't say anything, but that's my reaction to show the people on the thing.
Yeah.
That she reacts like, oh my God, there's a floating cloak. And then she's like, oh, well, this is the world we live in now. And then goes and she doesn't say any of those things, but that's her
Thank
reaction.
God she didn't. Oh my gosh.
Well, that's like
that would have been
everyone's
great if
reaction.
she did that. Like,
Like you
oh, a floating cloak in this voice that I haven't been doing
This
for the
is
whole
what
movie.
we do, I guess.
This is the way
I'm
of the
McAdams
world now.
family.
You also have a lot of other doctors that were in that room. The doctors, like, they didn't see this cloak through that window or anything that's just, like, floating over there.
They're really focused.
They really
And why
didn't give
does
a
he
shit.
take his cloak
And they-
off to wash his hands?
They don't give a shit that Doctor Strange has showed up after months. They don't give a shit that he's not
Leaving
probably.
his body.
How is he allowed in
all
the
this
in the
shit.
room? Like how
because
is he?
he's Doctor Strange.
Because Doctor Strange.
I just don't. Like these
He brought
doctors
her-
don't give a shit. They're
Okay,
just
I
like,
used to work at Radio Shack. If I want to, I can go in the back room of any Radio Shack
Clearly,
like ever.
there's
I
has been
feel
a
like
severe...
there's a different for surgeons and doctors.
No,
and-
that's the rules. That's how it works.
All those doctors see is clearly there has been a severe LARPing injury because a bunch of people
Yeah.
dressed like wizards have just come in, and she had fallen from God knows how high, and her
Sinead
body
O'Connor
is
has
still
been injured, and we need to fix her.
her body is
Yeah.
still intact somehow, and it didn't just pop like a fucking water balloon.
Serious.
But yeah, I didn't like that, and I as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, Trevor's not gonna like that because you've
Yeah.
already brought up that thing,
And-
I understand you, and I don't like that same thing. They've got to start treating death like it matters, And right after that, they did. You know, they're like,
They did,
she's
yeah.
like, oh,
They gave a little
but
bit
that's
of
a
nice.
useless, nothing moment now that you've already, you know, cheapened and poked fun at it.
Yeah.
You know,
And to me, this isn't the biggest. I'd say Thor: The Dark World did it much worse.
Yeah.
Whereas for this one, it wasn't a huge
I
problem.
don't
It's
remember Thor: The Dark World enough.
Thor: The Dark World did a
the
lot of things
mom
worse.
dies, and
I've
then
seen it once. I've seen both
both
of
the
Thors
sons
once,
right
and
after
never
the mom
again.
dies are just like making jokes with each other and stuff and being silly. And it's like, your mom just died. Your
Have some
mom is
respect.
dead. Like, this should be a bigger deal for you.
I remember
But,
with Thor: The Dark World being upset that they had made us feel something for Loki, but then it wasn't. You know, there was like a twist or something, and it wasn't really Loki or whatever. I don't know.
He was tricking them, yeah.
Yeah, he was
Like,
just tricking them in the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, overall this movie, like, I don't have any big problems with it, but there's so many just little things where it's just like, eh. Like, there were a lot of jokes that for me just didn't work. They just completely were like...
Most of the jokes for me didn't work.
Yeah, and I don't
But-
feel like the jokes were really and
weren't
like
meant to
Tim
be
mentioned
funny.
initially, they weren't meant to be.
I don't know.
The
But,
movie wasn't
okay.
meant to be jokey. The movie was. They were there
yeah,
to
it wasn't-
leave
it-
a little bit of lightness, but they weren't meant to be like.
I don't know. It's still very jokey. There's a lot
I'm
of
just
jokes
gonna-
about, but it wasn't as much.
I'm
You're
going to
right.
point out for the two of you that you guys had this exact opposite stance. You guys took the exact opposite stance on the little goddamn tea scene in... Like, you're like, it's not funny. You're like, it's not meant to be jokey. It's just a character
Wait.
thing. And
You're talking about the trailer for Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
not
a
just the
character
trailer
thing.
for Suicide.
Yeah.
It was in Suicide Squad.
I wouldn't say
Yeah.
these things were they character things?
No,
They were definitely...
I'm just
they were definitely
saying.
they were definitely attempts to be jokes, but I feel like they didn't try to. It wasn't Iron Man. They didn't try to like beat you over the
It was
head with.
constant. It wasn't constantly quippy. It was just quippy on...
It was at least
was
a half.
on a
But
pretty
it was
common-
less
half.
quippy by half. That's-
Yeah.
So it's,
Probably,
but
I'd say that.
they were specifically there
And about
to.
a quarter of those landed.
They
I
were
would
they
say,
were
yeah.
steam release. They weren't there to like act. I mean, they were specifically comic relief in that sense. It wasn't jokes for joke's sakes. It was
And I hate that.
shit. Stuff got really tight there for a minute. Let's go ahead and lighten the mood a bit. All right, let's play
It's
show
not
one story.
natural.
Let's have it be
So-
heavy for a minute.
Yeah.
Have something be heavy.
I think
Let
this is-
your movie have like heart, depth.
And
like
I-
let it happen.
I'd also
Yeah.
say, even though this one you'd say has like half, it felt the least one of the least natural, because it just felt like they were thrown some of the quips and stuff were just and jokes were just in there, and they didn't feel natural at all. Because it was just like, why is this? Why you do it? Like, I don't understand even though there's sort of some comedy in the Mr. Doctor thing, like the fact that Caecilius
I kind of thought that was funny.
I did, but then there's also... I had some confusion where... Well, Caecilius does seem to know... He understands what doctors are. He by the end, like at the last scene, they're talking,
I know.
and he's like, I know what a doctor... So
Well,
he's
but he
not
doesn't
like an
just
I
idiot.
accept it on
specifically
face.
thought
he
that he
specifically
was-
feels weird about it. He's like, that seems like a weird name, but okay.
I thought that he was just digging on Doctor Strange. I thought
Yeah.
that was a dig.
Oh,
But in the end, he actually was like, oh, I thought you were actually Mr. Doctor.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't be that stupid. I'm sorry. Even if you... Like, I got the dig part. If it was just a dig, cool. But it wasn't just a dig. He was an idiot.
I don't remember that part. The end
When he
part,
was
but
being captive, he like they had this whole conversation.
it was Mr. Doctor, and he's like, he addresses him as Mr. Doctor.
Again.
Like, with...
And then he's like, "Oh, you're an actual doctor," and it sort of turned into all this stuff. And so it was
Then
just
we
like,
had to do some exposition.
if it's a dig, fine. But when you're like, sitting there going, "Oh no, I'm explaining to you my joke now," and also, nope, I'm just an idiot.
yeah,
I'm Caecilius, and I'm a dumbass character.
yeah.
Which I like that we didn't get, and we've talked about this before, that they chose to do like this little throwaway villain, because the movie's not about the villain. This movie was about...
And that's always,
Strange,
I
and
think,
that's
the
cool.
case with a lot of origins, as well as
The one out there that...
Too often,
Marvel's
they use
best
their
villain,
biggest
though...
villain and kill him.
Well, but
Or-
Marvel's best villain
but
is the
always
one
him.
they didn't kill, and then he came back for the sequel, which was Loki.
and they knew
Where-
that's what they knew coming into the Thor movie was
Coming in, yeah.
coming in.
Because they knew they were going to use him in Avengers.
Exactly.
That was
and-
the one.
And I feel like that's what they basically.
I
do
also
more
feel like
of.
they're getting away from that, though.
That was the one
Like
thing the
Baron
writer
Zemo
had.
didn't get killed.
Yeah.
This guy didn't
Sure.
get killed. It seems like they're
They're
But
not
Baron
origins.
Zemo, we would all have to argue that Baron Zemo wasn't Baron Zemo.
There's that.
Yet.
He was a dude named Zemo.
What? What does that mean?
Well,
no,
I
yeah,
think
Baron Zemo's going to become Baron Zemo.
what I'd say
No,
is
At some
he's
point,
not.
he's
He's
going to
not.
put the purple pillowcase
There's
over
no
his face.
time or reason for that.
here's what I think
They
is
are moving on.
we're moving on to into a place where you get a character, a villain, who's not the villain, but they become one in a later one because the first one is a setup for them becoming a villain in like the second one. I think we're getting into that stage.
I think, well, and very much they're
Phase
not.
3.
yeah.
None of yeah.
This is
This
phase
is the thing.
3.
The movies aren't singular anymore. I think in the first phase, even in the second phase, they were still thinking of like, well, no, but my movie should have like a definitive, and now they're like, no, fuck that.
What phase was Thor?
Yeah,
What phase was that?
The first
phase one.
one?
First
Okay,
Thor
so-
movie was phase 1.
When the writer of that movie wrote that movie, he reported that they told him,
We're going to use.
we
it in
don't
Avengers.
need that to be a good movie. We need a good villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they were already doing that.
I think they're doing it even well, but this is why they're not killing the villain anymore. Is that they're realizing that all of these villains need to come back at some point. Is like we need to stop killing these
Well,
fucking villains because we're gonna run out of villains.
I think also we're looking at
there's no end in sight to these fucking movies.
we're really looking at the end of this sort of first part, not phase, but the first Avengers group is ending their sort of Avengers
wave.
trilogy is ending, the first
Yeah.
wave. And so I feel like now they're setting up what are the group of bad guys that get together called again in Marvel's?
Oh
The sinister people.
no,
That's-
it's
See, I don't even remember.
the
their-
Revengers is one of them.
No,
There's
it's
a
the one
bunch
with
of 'em.
it's Baron Zemo's main one that he always brings.
Oh,
Skull?
Masters of Evil.
Red Skull's
Masters of
dead.
Evil. I think they're gonna
Ugh.
start bringing.
Terrible name too.
I think they're gonna start bringing
It's not
down.
great.
All the villain names are terrible. Brotherhood of Evil Mutants sucks.
Yeah,
These are all
I don't
terrible
know.
names.
You can't go with making them evil. You can't have evil in the name. I feel like,
No.
especially because it seems like my guess would be Mordo might be one
The
of these
Legion
people.
of Doom better.
And yeah, no, it's not. But
I always picture the wrestlers when I hear that.
it feels like I feel like that's what they're setting up now. Is they're gonna start bringing in villains, but keeping them alive, and to the point where they all come together, and that's gonna be the next Avengers after we get all these sort of after we finish this wave. We're building up the next. What's gonna be the antagonist for these new Avengers that we're getting? And it seems like it's going to be these villains. It's going to be Mordo. It's going to be Baron Zemo, and whoever else we're going to get a Black Panther character who's not bad maybe right away, but becomes bad. And we're going to get someone probably in Captain Marvel who's not bad right away, but is going to become bad. And we're going to get a lot of this.
They'll bring Trevor in, and oh god.
I feel like that's bringing Trevor in.
Yeah,
That's
from
my
Iron
Legion of
Man.
Doom.
The Mandarin.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
They'll bring him in.
They'll bring
No,
him.
no, you. We think they
Oh my
should put
God.
you in the movies.
You're going to be an evil guy.
But I don't know if I do that because I don't know
Because
if
you hate Marvel movies so much.
Iron Man so much is going to be part of that next phase. So much.
I don't know. I'm hoping
I
that
feel
they
like this is
will
the
get rid of,
replacement.
like they will change the guard.
I feel
But
like
I
this
don't
has to
feel
be.
like they're
You
going
don't feel like
to.
this is enough of a replacement for Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, even though I didn't feel like a lot of his
No.
quips. It definitely didn't work, but it was a similar style of. Look, he's a jerk, and he's gonna make quips at you. He's gonna
No,
make jerky
because
quips.
especially since of the history of the two, there's a lot of the history of them two going
At it,
tete a
yeah.
tete. Yeah, like mentally
I mean,
not.
I
I
agree
get
in the
what you're saying,
comics,
though,
but
that-
I'm talking about the movies.
But in the
there are
movies,
more-
somebody
saying-
needs to pick up that mantle, and here's the person that I think is going to pick it up. Sam Wilson, the Falcon. Because you look at Civil War, he's easily the funniest part of that
He's
movie.
evilly. You heard
He
it
is
right here.
evilly funny.
It was.
No, he's
his
the funniest part of that movie.
Freudian slip.
I think he's the thing that's going to
he
pick up,
doesn't
like in
stand
terms of
out at all
picking
in
up
Civil War
the,
to me.
in terms of picking up the,
I
the
don't.
baton
Yeah,
of
I don't.
I
don't know.
I
what-
can't remember
what-
any of his
all I can-
lines.
bird costume. Really, he gets all mad at him because they call it a bird
Oh
costume.
yeah, that's right. He did say that.
And then when
Oh yeah, he had a lot of broy. Sort
yeah,
of
he had a
stuff.
ton of broy stuff.
That's why I don't remember
Like,
it as a
hey,
good
can
thing.
you move your seat? No. It's like, and all that shit. Between him and Bucky going back and forth, I thought was good.
Yeah, it's some of my favorite stuff. So.
Yeah. No, I'm aware.
So I'm like, I have no idea what you're on
I
about.
just did. I guess I missed it. I don't laugh at half the things that are.
I
supposed
feel like
to
a
be
lot of
laughed at.
Iron Man shit is very broy, though.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So I
I
think in
think-
terms of picking up the broy baton, I think
Yeah.
I think Sam Wilson would be perfect for that. And Anthony Mackie is a
yeah,
really
but
funny guy in
that's
real life.
just that's not like giving. Oh, I don't even know the character of Iron Man credit for his usually supposed to be intellectual, like,
Well,
go
and
you know,
maybe Doctor Strange
argument-
picks up that part of it.
argumentation.
maybe Doctor Strange picks up that part of it, and Sam Wilson just carries.
But
Yeah.
I'm not
Funny
saying
part
that
of it.
Doctor Strange should. I'm saying that if they get rid of him right now, they're missing the opportunity to have those
So
two
sooner. Well, I'm
go
sure
head to
they'll-
head as leader type, alpha
Yeah.
male types.
We're gonna have Infinity War.
Well-
They're both gonna be in that, so it seems like they might at least interact in that, if not more.
Gosh, that'll be. I mean, seeing Cumberbatch and Downey Jr. on the same screen, like chewing up the scenery, would be pretty fucking
I
awesome.
mean, seeing Sherlock and Sherlock together
Yes.
for the first and last.
Yeah.
one.
Sherlock versus Sherlock.
Sherlock.
Who plays Sherlock in that new TV show?
Elementary? That's
Some
not.
guy,
That's not a thing.
some British dude.
Oh, I've never seen
Yeah.
it.
I know who
Neither
he
do I.
is.
I heard there was a female Sherlock out too somewhere. Is it in a show or?
I know
some movie?
Watson is played by Lucy Liu.
Oh,
Right?
is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know.
We need all our Watsons to come together.
Ooh,
Get all our Watsons together.
We're all gonna get together and.
One of the
take
Watsons
notes.
is there.
yeah. I also want to.
That's true.
Who is Robert Downey Jr.'s Watson?
Jude Law.
Oh, they'll never get that Watson.
They could get that Watson. They could have. I mean, here's what would be interesting: would be Downey Jr., Jude Law, and Martin Freeman and Cumberbatch all in the same scene together, and like they kind of like all look at each other with that like,
Oh,
huh?
like, but I want the pairs to
So
look at
it's
each
you.
other. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to see the pairs looking at each
I want
other.
the Watsons to
And
look at
then
each other, and
they
the
look-
Holmeses to look at each
and
other.
then they look at the Watsons / Holmeses.
Yeah.
And then and then they just move on.
And
then
they're like,
time just-
all right, there's a major emergency. Iron Man, you go with this Martin Freeman guy. And then I'm like, wait, this feels weird. It's like,
It's
yeah.
very.
Oh
also,
yeah,
pairs
but
him with the
then
wrong Watson.
they don't say anything. It's just like you go with you go with you, and then they don't say anything. But then they just switch.
Serious.
Like the Watsons just sort of silently switch.
Um.
That'd be funny, but that's never gonna
Anyway,
happen.
we should get back to this movie. I want to talk about.
We are running out of time.
The
Yeah.
mid-credits scene we have.
Okay.
Ken,
That
this
was
is
the
very
coolest one.
similar to not Ant-Man's credit scene, which had the scene from Civil War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was wondering. My thought right away was, what do you think? Because is this even going to be in Thor Ragnarok? Do you think, or is it going to be? What I'm thinking is maybe this, because this didn't feel like it. It definitely is not going to be in it. I don't think the way it felt, it did not feel like it's going to be a direct.
I don't think it has to be.
No. So I feel like it's either
I also don't feel like
we're going to
that's-
skip it. We're just going to
I don't feel like
you're-
the
there's gonna be
Ant-Man mid-credit scene. I don't feel like it was exactly.
No, it wasn't, and that's the
Yeah.
biggest problem I had with the Ant-Man credit scene was because they then reshot that whole scene for the movie,
Yeah.
which made no goddamn sense other than to say, "Oh, in some alternate universe, this is how it happened." Woo!
Well, almost the lines were
Yeah, it
almost word for word, but just the angles and everything were all different, wasn't it?
No, there was whole words
There's
cut out
dialogue,
of
I
that.
think, that
It
was
wasn't.
different, yeah.
It wasn't. I would have to watch them again because I have only seen the movie in the theater.
I think you're right because I think when I was watching Civil War, I was like, "That's different."
Yeah, but to be
I was waiting
to be
for the
absolutely specific, I would have to watch both the scene and the movie again to be sure. So I'm not saying no, they weren't identical in language, but So the thing about this one though is that we've seen the picture of Thor with the card. So
We know it's happening.
we know that's in the movie, or otherwise that was just a teaser for the mid-credit scene.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Which, I mean, at this point in where we are in 2016 and the state of teasers and movies and whatever, spoilers, I would not put that past them
No.
at all. However, what it seems to be set up there seems much, much bigger than a little jokey thing. It's like, oh, well, your brother seems to be a big threat and happen to be the master of this, the sanctum in New York, and it's my job to protect it. And he's poses a magical threat, so therefore I need to get involved in this. For them to show us that and then not have him involved, that makes no sense.
Yeah, he'll definitely be. I think my question. I feel like they're probably when we actually see this in Thor Ragnarok, they're gonna skip over. Like it'll be a cut where we maybe don't see him talk to Doctor Strange about and they're just gonna cut to like, hey, I'm gonna go into this sanctorum, and then we just see them walk out or something.
Okay.
And we're just like skipping over that part where he convinces him to join him or something.
I would say yes, except the same thing you guys always tell me is that the people who haven't seen that other movie or who leave before, because
They wouldn't
when
know.
we saw it,
It would be
tons of people walked out right away.
Yeah. Even
Yeah.
when we saw it Thursday, a handful of people walked out right away.
But I wouldn't be surprised though, because you can do it in a way where you don't like you're talking to, because he's talking to Loki. It looks like Loki's down on Earth in the things we saw of him with the card and everything. So he's like, "Hey, Loki, I'm gonna go inside this Sanctorum thing real quick, and they set it up in a way where you don't need to see him talk to the guy and say, "Hey, give me your help," because we've already established that that's why he's going there, and he's asking for help. You just walk out and go, "Oh,
But if he's
helping."
with Loki when he's looking at the card,
They're looking for Odin. Is what it seemed was.
okay, yeah, you're right.
It's
I thought they were
that
looking
whole
for
movie
Loki for a
seems to
second,
me
but
that,
you're
like,
absolutely right. You're right.
giant problem shows up.
And he
Oh crap!
wants
We
to
need
get-
Odin to fix it.
Fuck,
You're right.
And then it's Hulk, maybe not Hulk, but definitely Thor and Loki, like driving
Loki's
around
probably
Earth.
like, I don't know where he is. Odin
Yeah.
is. I put
I
him
don't
on
know where I
Earth
put him.
somewhere as like a home. I've
Yeah.
erased his mind, put him on Earth.
Like I'm guessing
We
there's
have to
going to be a
find
scene
him.
where it's like, I left him right here.
Yeah,
And it's,
they're
you know,
dogmanning
He's
him.
not-
Yeah,
yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. And so I think
Yeah.
that's more what feels like is going to happen is we're going to get a nice setup where we get an explanation of he's going to talk to this magic guy about getting help, and so we don't actually need to see that conversation as much as we need to see him just go to the place and
I
be
would
like,
prefer that over
talking to
them changing the entire scene, which is what I'm afraid they'll just do.
yeah, it definitely looked like that. Watching it, that looked like a
On the-
cheap, quick.
On the plus side, it was directed by the guy who's going to direct the movie, so
Yeah,
I did like that.
He
aspect
did
of it.
do that.
Did
Yeah,
that.
Taika Waititi.
He directed those two people sitting in the chair, each saying a
He
line.
did
real
direct
quick.
that.
Yep.
Well, and yeah, he told Hemsworth to react to fake beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
That also happened.
Yeah,
Ugh.
But other than that, I was not thrilled with the scenes.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
no, and the other one was
Mordo.
So it was just
not
such
so much a
obvious,
throwaway, but
you know,
it was obvious, and yeah, it didn't really
Yeah, but I guess other people didn't want
like
to
you.
know.
To me, you definitely could have put
sure.
that scene
Yeah, you're
at
right.
There are a
the
lot of
beginning
people
of the
that
next
wouldn't.
Doctor Strange movie.
Sure, but I think there are a lot of people that
And
wouldn't
that
know.
very well may be the case because that's what they do now.
Yeah,
Right. And
So-
yeah, I'm sure that because they know that not everyone sticks around to those after credits.
Yep.
But it's for the people that do, for fans, but also people. There are a lot of people that do stick around for those and don't know what's coming up. So for them, that's a nice sneak peek of, oh, Mordor's going to be a bad guy, I guess, going forward. And they wouldn't know because they don't read they don't know the comics, they don't know these characters. So it does. I think for that it works really well.
Because I have been talking to a lot of people because I'm taking the comic book English class right now, comics and graphic novels, and okay.
Ben just said,
I don't know.
he's like,
You're not
I'm
an English
intrigued.
major. Why?
I'm-
Why would you need to take it? Do you need a
just
300
for
level?
fun.
no,
Just a 300 random 300 level class? No, but so I'm seeing a lot of
Sounds
people who
fun as
sort
shit,
of
though.
just needed an English class for their major, or
sure.
just needed a 300 level class. I'm seeing that in a lot of them, and it's interesting to see their reactions to comic books and stuff. Sort of see how they're sort of learning that, oh wait, comic books aren't just these, little picture books for kids anymore. Because we're reading a lot of
if at all.
heavy stuff. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean when comic
Nowadays,
books
I
first
feel like
started,
most
Definitely
comic books I wouldn't give to get. She'd have no interest in them.
right, and even when comics first started, everybody read them.
Yeah,
It wasn't just kids; it was literally everybody. It wasn't just boys, and it wasn't. There was not this delineation, and then the seduction of innocence happened, and the McCarthy trials and all that. But either way, my point is, I'm seeing a lot of people now. In that class who would have not had any interest in Doctor Strange as a character, but say since they follow Benedict Cumberbatch or they've been seeing the Marvel movies just in general, with their friends or whatever, they're saying they're going to see Doctor Strange or they're eager to see Doctor Strange. And so I get that there's a lot of people who don't know the ins and outs that we all know. I don't even know all the ins and outs, and I've actually I've read Doctor Strange for a long time.
serious.
But yeah, so I could see why they need to, why they would just, do a little thing. But the problem is those also are the kind of people who I don't think are sticking around.
It's possible. So,
I think the people who aren't, because if it's made for the not Doctor Strange fans, they're not going to be sticking around.
Yeah, but if they're with people that aren't
Oh.
Doctor Strange fans, like
Okay,
some
we
of
gotta
my
wrap
friends
up.
will stick around. All right, we're gonna
wrap
wrap
up the
up.
Doctor Strange part, and then I think we got to do.
So yeah,
if we want to do any news, it's got to be all lightning round.
Yeah.
So,
I don't have anything anyway, so it's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's Doctor Strange. We all at least somewhat enjoyed it.
Yep.
It positive overall.
Yep.
I was going to talk about ranking these movies from the year, the comic book movies, but I guess we'll do that later.
Do a quick Infinity Stone wrap up. Or how many do we have now?
We have
now
one
5.
more. We just need one more in Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
So
It seems
we
like,
now have 5. I think the Soul
Soul
Gem is the only one that we don't have.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So,
All
yay.
right.
Gems are all out.
All right, so thanks everyone. We're going to go into lightning round. Who wants to go first in lightning round?
I'll go lightning round. Justice League found its Steppenwolf.
Yes.
It is Kieran Hines,
Yes.
Mance Raider from Game of Thrones.
Cool.
And
That's fine
Caesar
with me.
from Rome,
Well,
which is
a
what
lot
I
of
will
those
always know him
things.
from.
And
Yeah,
he's an
fucking
Excalibur.
yeah, awesome.
All right, Inhumans may be back on in Phase 4, so says
Okay.
Kevin Feige.
Sure, whatever. But he's been saying Black Widow for a long time, even.
Ish, yeah.
So,
I think
means
they keep
nothing.
pushing Inhumans and no one gives a shit. So I'm happy with it on S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't want to see it anywhere else.
All right. I kind of feel the same way. Others feel different. Zendaya denies playing Mary Jane in Homecoming.
I don't know if she even technically denied it. She just said there's a lot of rumors out there, and you never know.
All right, so she says they laughed whenever they hear these, they laugh because of how wrong they are.
Yeah.
She specifically said that. She also says she's not romantically involved with Peter Parker,
Yeah.
which doesn't mean she's not Mary Jane.
It just might be not in
But
this one.
then the character she described was frumpy. She doesn't have to come in with makeup. She's more intellectual. She's
Well, there's-
socially awkward, and that's not Mary
Yeah.
Jane.
One of the huge rumors early on was that she was Liz Allen, I believe.
I don't know what that is.
She eventually becomes Harry Osborn's wife.
Oh, okay.
Although in the Ultimate
Was it-
Universe, she was a mutant.
She was like,
So-
wasn't she Parker's first love interest?
No.
No.
Okay,
Gwen
Gal
Stacy.
Gadot
Okay.
wants to be bisexual with Halle Berry in Wonder Woman 2, thanks to Greg Rucka, who said that he believes that Wonder Woman is bisexual, and now people won't stop asking her about it.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, she was asked and was like, okay, sure, I like Halle Berry.
I'm gonna let you guys talk about this for a
It's
quick
fine.
second, then I'll weigh in with like the straight cisgendered frat boy point of it.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, she was mainly just like basically fan casting a
Yeah.
love interest, and fine, but
Okay.
I don't know who she would play.
Ben?
Fuck yes!
Okay, that's what I
That
thought.
sounds awesome.
That's what I thought.
I want to see him make out. Okay.
Oh,
I mean,
That's enough
I
of
think
that.
it would be cool as well.
Yeah.
I'm not from a my penis wants it way
No.
sort of way, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You guys are about the cultural aspect of it, and that's great. Good for
I'm
you
not,
guys.
not even culturally. I like
But,
them both
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
characters, and I would like to see that happen.
I would also like to see that happen. So.
They're not going to show
But-
all that you want to see, but it will be.
I want to see it on both levels.
It'll be an acceptable way
levels.
for you to see it without your wife freaking her
There
shit.
you go.
Maybe
Although
she'd
she
be-
will make you turn around in the theater.
Maybe she could be an ancestor of Etta Candy or something.
Because then we'll go see
No.
like another
Some people said that she should be at a
Brad
candy,
Pitt
which
movie,
is
and she'll
absurd.
drool all over
Well,
that shit.
she's in the comics now. Etta Candy's.
Well, no, I mean from the standpoint of they've already filmed it and they already have their Etta
but
Candy.
Yeah,
So
it would
they
have
can't
to be
physically
I love
change
that
her.
Etta Candy, by the way.
They can put a new lesbian character in there for Gal Gadot to get it on with,
it's-
or Wonder Woman to get it on with, but they
unless
can't
it's just
conceivably.
Etta Candy named after like grandmother.
It's a position. It's a title that Wonder Woman
Candy-
bestows upon her sidekicks.
Lightning
Lightning
round.
round.
Anyway,
Fox is looking to reboot X-Men after losing Bryan Singer, Hugh Jackman, Jennifer Lawrence, Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy, and Nicholas Hoult, and with Gambit in production limbo, and with the future of their new Deadpool franchise up in the air.
I don't know.
It sounds like they're still going to give it to Simon Kinberg, which is I think
bad.
part of the problem.
That's really he wrote the parts of Fantastic Four after
Right.
all the
Yep.
drama, so he's a problem. I feel like he's a huge problem on these Fox's
Yeah.
movies.
I do too. I don't like that they're talking about rebooting it and not in talks of
Just continue the story.
coming along with Marvel. I think that
Oh.
if any time,
This is the perfect time. If you're going to reboot it.
You said you didn't want to do it before because you
Hitch
still
your
have
wagon to Marvel,
so
yeah.
much future. Hitch your wagon to Marvel Star and go far. Johnny Depp's Fantastic Beasts character is revealed to be Gellert Grindelwald.
Yeah.
Who is the
Baddie.
pre-Voldemort of the Wizarding world.
Right. The
Yeah.
baddest wizard to be taken down by Dumbledore, who he's also, I guess, in love with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate this. What do you guys think?
Not a huge fan, but whatever.
I don't know. To me, I've seen him.
I'm not a
He
huge
hits.
Depp
He strikes out or hits home runs. In my feeling.
I feel like
So-
he has, Johnny Depp has hit about 4 home runs in his life, and I hate everything else that he does, and I don't want to see his stupid
fan.
face.
Yeah.
Might be another
I'm
home
kind
run,
of
you know?
tired of him.
Oh, and also he's going to be featured more in the sequel.
Yeah.
So it's basically going to be a movie about him. If that's where these movies go, I'm probably out.
All right. What else? Is that it?
Oh,
All right,
no,
Ben,
of
go.
that, yeah.
Okay, ones that he didn't mention. Deadpool 2 new director shortlist: Drew Goddard, Magnus Martins, both directors of Marvel Netflix series.
Okay.
So I'm yay for both of them.
Which one was Drew Goddard did
Daredevil season 1.
And then what was the other
Magnus Martins did Luke Cage.
one? Okay. Yeah, those are both fine, I guess.
Cool.
Not
Ken?
high on them, but fine.
Yeah, I didn't know those names. I didn't realize that was who they were, but sure.
Cool.
I don't think I'm going to end up liking this movie, but
Yeah.
in the end, but yeah.
Okay. Eddie Redmayne auditioned to be Kylo Ren and didn't get the part.
I'm not surprised a lot of people did.
Yeah. See, I guess I hadn't heard that. I didn't realize
Star
that
Wars basically
shitload of people auditioned.
auditioned everyone.
Everybody's going to audition for everything in Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah, they had a massive when it was happening. I remember there being.
Would it have been better with Redmayne instead of Trevor?
No.
I don't think so.
I agree.
No.
Although I do think it's weird that they were apparently auditioning ugly guys specifically for that part.
I don't think Eddie Redmayne's ugly.
Oh. Yeah, he is.
Are you the one in the position to state that?
Sure.
All right.
Even as I'm a prettier fat man than he is a skinny man. So, yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
I do. Adam Driver is also kind of ugly.
Although, I will say that Adam Driver is not classically attractive.
Eddie Redmayne's got fish mouth.
I don't think he's ugly.
He's got frowning fish mouth.
Although, yeah, if we do have listeners, please weigh in on this.
Yeah,
Seriously.
way on.
Like, if you think Eddie Redmayne is really sexy and full of shit.
Okay, no, I did not say he was really sexy.
Okay, you're just
I
saying
said he's not ugly. And just like I said that Adam Driver's not ugly.
Oh, I'm going to double down on both of them. They're both ugly. So, if you think I'm
All right.
wrong, email us
Lightning
at Geekwork Podcast.
round.
Next one, Young Justice Season 3 is announced. I say yay.
I don't think I've
never
watched
seen a
more
single
than a few
episode.
episodes.
Oh, fuck you guys.
I saw
Young
a
Justice
couple.
is awesome.
I'm not hugely into animation.
Oh, this is... a lot of the recent shit I don't like, but this stuff I loved.
Yeah, I know a lot of people
This was
love
one
it.
of the...
I might have to...
All of the Batman stuff they've been doing in the last couple of years, the only animated one that I liked was Flashpoint. But, like, I just watched Batman Year 1 again, animated. Hated it. And the Dark Knight Returns, I hated that. So, this is one of the few animation things that I really, really like, was Young Justice.
All right.
So, yay. And with that, I am out.
All right, cool. Let's go to...
You know what I mean? Trevor?
I was just reading them and nothing really stuck out. I mean, there's some of, Ezra Miller talking about what's going on with The Flash. And...
That was the one that I had that I didn't bring up was there's two different articles about people talking about how great Jeff Johns is. One was Ezra Miller, one was the CEO of Warner Brothers, and I was like, what's going on?
It seems like Jeff Johns is kind of just there to be like, hey, no, that would piss people off if you do that, comic book fans.
Well, and why do we need these two articles jerking him off? Like, what the fuck's going on that he, like, needs this?
It probably came from the same place.
I feel like he's got problems at
probably
home or
just
something.
accidentally grabbed it.
It was, both from an interview.
Yeah, they're both from the same interview.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That feels a little bit better.
Just
So it
some
wasn't
people,
like a bunch of-
So wait,
divide
Ezra Miller
shit.
and the CEO of Warner Brothers were in the same interview?
Oh, no, those are different, yeah. But no, they
I didn't see the CEO
No, those
one
were just...
thing.
Because they did massive interviews. Miller did massive interviews.
know
with
he did
Fantastic
That
Beasts,
interview was a
and,
big one where he mentioned the Fantastic Beasts thing. He also mentioned what he wants to do with Flash. And
I think Kevin... What's his last
Bacon.
name? But the CEO of Warner Brothers, he also did just an interview, but that's just the part they pulled out for that particular thing.
I just thought it was... And they weren't put up there as a connected piece, but I was like, wow, two different articles about how
that's
great
just what
Jeff
they
Johns
do.
is.
It just so happened to be interviewing at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought maybe that they like seen him and he looked down and they like wanted to throw him a bone in an interview.
Jeff needs to pick me up.
There's a new image of the Invasion episode, the crossover episodes.
I saw that in my email. I didn't look at it.
You got his new costume steals. New costumes
That's
steals.
not bad. That's actually pretty okay.
Oh, that's okay.
All right.
That's not what I was
Like
expecting.
I
in
remember.
response.
I know what the original one is. Like I've read.
okay.
So on the far
This one
left,
on the
that's
far
Steele's new costume.
Ooh.
Yep, that was more my response.
Oh, if I had a tie, I would have been like, adjusting it. No, it looks gross and stupid.
That's much closer to my response. I mean, mine wasn't as, but what is going on with those pants? Why
I
is
don't
there a
know.
red thing
There's
around
like
his
a
crotch?
chaps type of thing going on.
Yeah.
He's got like shoulder pads.
Don't act like that's normal.
It's normal for superheroes and pro wrestlers.
That's so weird.
Thanks where it's normal.
No chaps.
That was weird.
No chaps.
Anyway, I don't
All
really
chaps are assless.
have anything massive. Let's get to comics, shall we?
Comics.
All right,
Comic
who's
books.
up first? Because I
I
have to.
think Ben's probably got the
I'll
quickest
go.
one. 'cause-
My quickest one. I've only got one that I'm really looking forward to, and it's something that I've been reading, and I'm really kind of liking it. And the new one just came out. The all new Superman, the Chinese Superman. It's interesting. I'm liking it a lot more than I thought I would. I like the Chinese Justice League with their fat Batman.
Okay, so that's still in there. I only read the first issue, and I
Yeah, no, it's so he is recruited into a Chinese Justice League, but because it's China, they're like a shadow organization,
Right.
That's like it's like being hidden from the people and shit.
Oh, weren't they trying to fight him at first? But then, like, because he was an
Yeah,
experiment.
at first they tried to fight him, and he was an experiment gone wrong, and then they were like, "Well, shit, if he's gonna be there," so now he's like lumped in.
If you
and
can't beat him, join
his
them.
powers are still intermittent sometimes. But yeah, we've now discovered that his dad is actually like a super villain in that
of
world.
course.
Yeah. Which, as soon as you saw them fighting, it was like, I bet you that's his dad.
Oh yeah.
And by the end of the book, it was like, he comes home and his dad's like sitting in
Changing.
his... No, he's sitting in his living room chair in the bad guy costume. Like, we need to talk.
Oh,
So,
But Daddy.
but Daddy, I love being him. So, yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Chinese
Anyway, I'm digging Chinese Superman.
Yeah?
I think it's fun.
Cool. I haven't read it. I got two here. I got Black Panther: World of Wakanda, written by Roxane Gay. It's fine. It's not great. It's not particularly good.
What?
It feels sort of like there's a lot of word. It feels somewhat old fashioned in that it's sort of the way it's written is there's a lot of word bubbles of thoughts where it's kind of dumb. It's sort of like, oh, I love them, and it's just like this weird thing. Like two people just met and they're like, oh, I had this crazy feeling inside of me, and it's like there's just that's the
it's a little bit funny.
that's the weird thing.
It was like a
Feeling
sneeze, only better.
inside.
It's just I don't
Not one of those. Okay.
I don't find the writing particularly great. But then Mother Panic, Ken and I both read this. We both picked it up. I did not care for it all that much.
I did not either.
It was weird. I didn't like it. The art was the art. I did not like really. Like it was confusing at a few points.
It was.
I didn't understand exactly what was happening at some points. And sort of like the fight stuff. It's not great.
Digging that helmet, but other than that, yeah.
I do like
this
to
cover,
point
yeah.
out that we both managed
got
to
the
get
same
the
cover.
same cover for once. This is the first Young Justice where we both got the number one, and
Young Animal?
yes,
Yeah.
Young Justice
that's
is that
exactly,
show that
So,
you
like-
apparently don't watch.
that's exactly what I meant.
I was seeing where that was going, hoping
I
there's actually
did
something,
not
like,
see where that was going
I was
because
like,
I said
is
the
there-
wrong thing.
Is there something going on? Like, did I miss something?
There's a secret link to Young Justice now that you missed. No, this is the first of the Young Animal imprint that we
got
have
the
both
same covers.
I'm going to go back and
Picked
read
up
Young
the
Justice
same-
now. I love that comic. back
same
in the day.
cover.
Shit.
But I agree with your sentiment. I did not enjoy it as much as I had. Well, I didn't have any expectations for this one
It was the
because I
one
don't
that
know what
least
Mother
interesting.
Panic is.
Yeah, it's basically.
I sort of have
I
background information for all the
honestly,
others.
This did not give a lot. This did not give good information on what.
You
it
know
is.
what gives more
It
information?
doesn't tell us what's
In the
going
very end of each of these, there's a little dossier on each of the characters from all the titles. And then Gerard Way writes the letter. And
Yeah.
I read the Doom Patrol first, and I read the letter. And it sort of talks more about what's actually happening.
on. Okay,
I didn't like it because it was very close to Batman. It was very... It's like
It's
Lady
very-
Batman.
it is pretty
And
much.
I get that...
Pretty sure
There's
we
this
have
other-
a Lady Batman.
Yeah, but
No,
there's
no,
also this
I know.
other weird shit with her mom going on.
But yeah, she's got the
This
half-dead
is a side
parents.
story.
That looks like a Robin comic. Is that a Robin costume? That's
Yeah.
a Robin costume. Okay, good.
It's in the same universe.
Okay.
This is the secondary story.
That's
the,
that little second, which
backstory.
I did not.
was-
I was falling asleep during it, so I didn't
really?
catch it.
the backstory is better. It's not a huge, crazy, interesting.
The
story,
the
but
story in the back, because I guarantee you it is not a backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's the story in the back is for me. It was a little more interesting.
There's a lot of impressionistic panels.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird
Like a
during the
goose
fights,
getting
they just-
shot, a rat getting eaten,
The
a
fuck?
cake bleeding,
Yeah, they skipped through.
lightning on a tree.
Batman
Um,
does show up in it.
Batman shows up, which is why I'm like, I know it's not Lady Batman, but she's in Gotham, so and people keep saying, "Are you one of the Batman's crew?" And
Did you
whatever.
stab the cake?
Yes. I mean, this is the
They don't
first.
see those things.
Oh, my bad.
This
Because
is-
that would be weird.
Yeah, this is the young animal one that connects closest to what's going on in the rest of the DC.
Did you get
universe.
Doom Patrol 3?
I have not read it yet.
Okay, so you did get it.
I did get it though. Yeah.
It is explaining more, but that more is being more
Same
absurd.
covers again. Unless there wasn't variant covers.
No,
Yeah,
there was no variant
There
covers.
were no variant covers.
No. They stopped that after 2, I believe.
Cost money.
Yeah. This one is explaining more, but the more that it's explaining is absurd.
Cool.
Yeah, about the ambulance, etc. I guess I'm getting what's happening. The main character, Cassie, is it? Casey. She's being
It's Casey Kasem.
the one, and I know what she is now and who she is.
Oh.
Because it does explain exactly
Alright,
who she
cool.
is, which I liked. I'm still I have a tenuous grasp of what's going on. Aside from that,
Yeah.
like in her
I mean, I've
apartment,
heard
she's
it.
not even in her apartment anymore, and I get who they are now, but it's still very much what the fuck.
Yeah.
And I feel like when this arc is done, I'm going to have to do that thing where I go back and just read the entire thing as one piece.
Yeah, and then you're gonna see stuff that you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Like,
now
I get it. And it'll be better. I'm not hating it, though. It was fairly enjoyable.
I want Casey Kasem to be in a Batman comic, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not happening. It is not.
This is a request line out to Catwoman. Batman's sorry he cheated, and he wants you back. So, yeah.
It's a little bit funny.
Yeah. So thank you
I had
everyone.
to go back to the well.
I totally want that to be the song that Batman
The feeling inside. Yeah. All right.
Yes.
So wrap ups.
All right, so wrapping up, thank you everyone for listening to this podcast. You can find us subscribed to wherever you got this podcast from, your favorite podcatcher of all time, iTunes.
If you
Podbean,
found us
Podcast
in a
Addict.
USB stick lying on the side of the road, you can find us there every goddamn week.
Yes. You can also go to our Patreon, patreon.com/geekwars. We have some rewards up there for some awesome Patreon stuff. Check that out. Donate some money.
It's awesome if you consider us talking and
It's-
doing
yeah.
things.
Yeah,
It's
so
awesome.
you do that.
Please do that stuff, because once people do that stuff, then we get to start making a whole bunch more stuff.
Yeah.
So, and we kind of do want to make it.
I kind of
but
really am. I'm
Yeah.
getting annoyed that I'm not able to make
I've
more.
got some really good ideas for the fan
I
casting
really
and
want
some
to
stuff.
fan
Yeah.
cast Ned Flanders
yeah.
already. I want to get this over with.
Yeah.
But we also have
I
YouTube.
have a good fan cast for Ned Flanders also. But
Yeah. We also have YouTube channel, Geek Wars Podcast, as usual. On there you can find trailer reaction videos for not all the trailers, but some of the geeky
Most
trailers
of
that
them.
come out. You can also
Some.
email us, Geek Wars.
One or two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
one
can-
or two. That's right.
You can email us, geekwarspodcast@gmail.com. Anything. Any questions, comments? What did you think of Doctor Strange? Tell us. Tell us what you thought of Doctor Strange if you made it. You probably logged off before the sign-outs. Most people, I think, do.
Yeah.
But do this anyway. Thank you. Where else? We can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook at Geek Wars Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Geek Wars Podcast. You can find me, Trevor, on Twitter at Daclus, DACLUS. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Until next time, keep on geeking out.
Geek out.
Geek on, geeking on.
Yeah.
And also
Peace.
geek out.